All right, coach it up.
Between the guard and the center,
Very, very smart,
tackle will be able to pick him up.
very articulate,
Combination with him.
really, really confident, really, really poised.
Hey, I thought it was all over.
Nope.
They roll coverage. What is up, y'all? It is Roll Coverage. I am your host, Nick. Today, we're joining the Indianapolis Colts to the NFL Scouting Combine 2024. Obviously, it says 2023, but they just posted it a few days ago, so let's see exactly their thought process and how they handle things in this crazy time, of course.
Going.
What's up, man? Tony.
Blake,
Good to meet you.
sir.
All right, Javon, coach. Good to have you.
Good to meet you, yes, sir.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Blake.
Pop on down, brother.
The interview session is really an introductory period. We hand it over to our coaches. We let them have the time. In that 15 to 20 minutes, we want to be able to less stress them and less stress them intellectually, and let's see what they know.
You got to go in there with the interview.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, they're getting, 15 minutes here and there with these guys. They're not getting these super in-depth stuff right now. Obviously, they'll schedule that for down the road. But to be honest, I think this is an evaluation for all the teams. I think they're just kind of going through the motions, getting all the information, and then they're going to take it and go process it later. This is more of just giving them some extra information. Of course, if you were on the Xavier Worthy train before this, you know that it's going full steam ahead now that he broke the NFL Combine record for the 40-yard dash at 4.21. You think that dude's going to make it to my Carolinas pick at 33 like I thought he would? Hell no, he ain't making it there now. So these guys are able to just set themselves apart and stuff like this. So it's also very interesting that they're allowing somebody to talk and kind of give their view of what they're seeing. Obviously, there's 1,000,001 player interviews, but there's enough breakdowns of those by other people. So
Mindset, because that's what it is. You're interviewing for a job.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. All right, I am gonna teach you one of our zone plays real quick. All right, it's gonna be, this whole thing's gonna be fast because we only got the 18 minutes, right?
We only got a few minutes, 15, 18 minutes. We got right to the point. We got right to the ball.
So I'm gonna teach you that. At the end, I'm gonna have you pop up and teach it back to us as much as you can remember, right? Don't expect you to be perfect, but as much as you can remember.
Obviously, you want to see how quick that they can recall things, how fast they retain something that you tell them, and really just what their background is for what they've been taught in football.
All right, that makes sense so far?
Yes, sir.
The last thing I want you to look at are these 4 terms.
I teach them something really quick. One of our plays, just a quick install. Hey, here's this. This is what we call it. These are the rules. It's nothing crazy in depth, but just enough where I want to see them have to retain that.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. You just got to be ready for anything they throw at you.
All right, what protection is this? So it's 5-man, what'd you guys call that?
We start watching some of their tape. I'll have a cut up made of good plays where I have questions on.
Did you guys do?
that's interesting that they're recalling plays immediately from them. Obviously, it's a little bit harder. This guy's obviously an offensive lineman. So there's some more nuanced opportunities there. Of course, it comes to strength, nutritioning, and just overall stamina and everything like that. There's a lot more that kind of goes into this, but from what I understand, to really be one of the best offensive linemen, you really have got to have it between here. So it's very interesting that that's the first place they really attack. Obviously, they're going to see at the scouting combine how much they can lift, how fast they are, and all that other stuff. But it's really that stuff in between their ears that they really, really desire the most.
Do that on the run, Blake, or did you have a term?
If we saw, we were able to either push it or call an out call on a blitz look.
It might be a scheme thing or a technique thing, just to hear them talk through, hey, you guys encountered this problem. How were you guys taught to solve this?
You just got to be able to explain what you're thinking.
Talk to me about this play. What do we got?
Okay, so communication's almost certainly going to be one of the big things that they're trained on as well. The reason why I'm kind of bringing this up is because I'm going to do a video here soon on my thought process on where the NFL is with quarterbacks, and where it is with so many other stuff, and how I see this big problem coming up on the horizon. Make sure you watch out for that video, okay?
So we got another inside or mid zone to the right. Our center ID is number 24.
It's hard to do all that in the small amount of time you have. That's why I like to ask them things about, hey, talk me through this combination. What are you expecting from your guard here? What are you expecting from your tackle here? And hearing kind of how they go through those things.
Try to get my my helmet almost in the armpit of that guard and just fill the space and drive.
You guys trying to drive vertically on the angle to your linebacker?
Uh-huh.
Good, love that.
Okay, so that's also teaching them the verbiage. Hey, man, you're not just kind of putting your helmet up into his armpit. You're driving through the linebacker, and you're doing these things. So that's also going to help him in other interviews. So I'm very curious to see how this guy interviewed with the first team versus the last team that he interviewed with. Obviously, most players don't meet with all 32. So, yeah, it's just a very interesting one. I'm curious if this was his first. Again, got to be these coaches things that just consistently add on to the final product.
So you're able to really kind of get a view into what their foundation is in terms of learning with the game.
Where do you want this end?
You put him right over the tight end.
I try to be as forthcoming and understanding about what these guys are going through as possible. I certainly don't base everything that I judge off of a player when I'm evaluating them off of a single interaction. I might have gotten this guy after he's talked to 12 other teams and his brain's fried.
Okay, obviously I think of brain fry, but I also think of, God, yeah. I guess you're right. I guess the coaching kind of doesn't help after a while because you've remembered, say, 20, 22 different plays, schemes, ways that they or the specific team wants to call it out. So I can assume that, yeah, I guess if you are one of those people that does get interviewed by every team, that you're like, why the hell, by the 30-second one, are you expecting me to remember anything? My brain is mush. Okay, I can see that.
All right, coach it up.
Between the guard and the center,
Very, very smart,
tackle will be able to pick him up.
very articulate,
Combination with him.
really, really confident, really, really poised. Wasn't rattled at all.
Inside is
Good.
I think there was 4 or 5 plays that I learned.
Yeah, you remember the strong inside?
Yeah, and you talk about adding 20 teams. You're learning 100 plays in a day, 2 days at most. Wow. Okay. I could definitely see the mental fatigue there.
And then
There was one play that was at the tip of my tongue and I couldn't figure it out.
Oh, you're so close.
He was doing a good job of kind of encouraging me to, he's like, come on, you're right there. Like, you're doing a good job. Just, it's right at the tip of your tongue. I know it. When you're up there, your mind's just racing. You're trying to remember everything, trying to pull everything from what he said because it's all about the little details. Like, you got to know the combinations, where you're going, just all the little stuff that he taught you at the beginning of the meeting.
Hey, that's a really good job. That's really good recall.
It's also funny that you can see that they clearly blurred it because they didn't want anybody to see their play. That's pretty funny. What's this? Yeah, that's funny. There we go. Yeah, it's right there. It's fun.
I walked away feeling really impressed with him. He just had an impressive presence about himself.
Great job. Appreciate your time.
You have to put your best foot forward every interview, but then Riza interview's done, you kind of have to flush it and prepare your mind for the next one. Like, you can't think about their plays, you can't think up on anything you said or you thought you maybe messed up. So you just gotta go into every interview like it's your first one.
It's a nervous time, it's a big.
I can only imagine too. Plus, these are young guys, 21 to 24. Obviously, we've seen some guys that have been in the league, in college, not the league, for 10 seasons. So you get some guys like Stetson Bennett, but other than that, they're early 20s guys. So it's got to be hard. I can only imagine.
Obviously, a huge part of these guys' lives. And so if you're able to go in there with that kind of energy and being genuine and put yourself out there like that, to me, that bodes well for what happened to him this year. You come here and you're starting the year as a backup, and then all of a sudden, dude, it's your time to step up, and you got to go, and you never flinched, which was the same thing that we were able to see there, which was pretty cool.
Hey, shout out to Indy. I would love to go to that stadium one year. Always had a soft spot in my heart for the Colts. But yeah, this is an interesting look, okay? The scouting combine, the combine in general, again, Xavier Worthy running a crazy 40, and just all the things that we're going to see as the combine continues to progress is going to forever change these guys' lives. I'm super thankful that we're able to see a little bit of it. Obviously, last year we were able to get, I believe it was The Pick is In or The Draft is In or something like that from the Roku app, hosted by Rich Eisen and all those guys. And I hope we get more of that, to be honest. I love the the behind the scenes of that. I love to see how teams are handling it. I love the thing that just came out a little bit ago, the NFL Players Association report card of all the teams. I'll be doing a full review of that as well. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the socials below. My name is Nick. This has been Roll Coverage. I appreciate you rolling with me. Peace.